Okay, so to get started on the cilantro lime rice, you need a long grain rice. I'm using jasmine, but if you have basmati, that's the perfect option. I got about a cup of it. I don't have any measuring cups, but this is about a cup. And put it in a saucepan. And this is a little bit of a small saucepan. You don't want the rice to be too thick down in there, otherwise it doesn't really cook well. So I'd say maximum about like an inch, maybe 2. And what we're gonna do now is rinse the rice a few times so it runs clear. And once you're on your last rinse, make sure you get as much of the water out as you can when you drain it. So next thing we're gonna do, I drained out all the water from the rice. Add about a tablespoon of butter, a little more is okay. And I'm also gonna add in juice of half a lime. And if it's not limey enough, you can always add more lime after it's done cooking, but before it starts cooking, add about half a lime. And if it's not really juicy lime, then maybe use the whole lime. Alright, for the next step here, I transferred the rice onto a stove or cooktop, and the butter and lime is in there. I'm going to turn on the heat all the way. We're going to kind of like somewhat toast it. There's moisture in there, so it's not going to really toast. But we're going to melt the butter down, and you're going to smell a really weird, almost strong, lime-ish rice smell. And once the butter is all melted up, we're going to put about 2 cups of water, since it was about a cup of rice, or pretty much just 2 parts of water. I use a little bit under since there's a little bit of lime juice and butter in there, so I might go 1 3/4 of a cup of water. If you're using a rice cooker, that's all good. Let's be a little bit more simple. Just follow your rice cooker instructions. Alright, the butter is really just about melted all the way through there. Mix it around. Since I'm not using a non-stick, the rice kind of sticks around. It's fine, I'll break it up with the water once I pour it in, which is going to be right now. I'm going to go in with 1 of the parts. And I'm not filling it up all the way, but in the second part. And mix this around until it's all smooth and mixed. The rice isn't really clumped. If you're using a non-stick saucepan, you don't really have to worry about much. And honestly, you could do all this. You could just cook the rice and put all like the butter, salt, and the cilantro and the lime at the very, very end. But for this, I think you get a little more flavor by doing the butter first and the lime and kind of sauteing it into the rice. So while the rice is cooking, which is going to take about 15 minutes in my case, chop up about this much cilantro, I'd say a handful, half a cup, a little under, and just finally chop it. So about so, and save it for when the rice is cooked. After about 15 minutes has passed, or when the water's not really boiling in there and it's all absorbed, so I'm going to turn off the heat and let it rest there for about 5 minutes, and we'll put in the rest of the ingredients. Alright, so in total it's been about 20 minutes, so I've let this sit and rest for 5 minutes. 20 minutes ago I started cooking. And well, it looks good there. I'm going to fluff this up a little bit and throw in the cilantro. When it comes to the cilantro, you can put as much or as little as you want, because I know cilantro can be a little bit strong for people. But other than that, mix it all in, incorporate it through there, and give it a taste. Add salt if you haven't put it in already. It's good to put it in before, which I didn't show you, but I actually off camera put in a teaspoon of salt. But it'll be in the ingredient description. So fluff it up. Hopefully the rice cooked nicely. And this is really good with in burritos, just by itself. You can really do whatever you want with this rice. I mean, I'm sure you've all kind of, maybe not all, but I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with Chipotle's rice, and this tastes very similar.